Hello?
Hello? Oh. Oh no, the music!
Oh, might be dead.
What happened?
There we go.
What's that mummy dog's name? I can't ever remember, but I think he's one of my favorite villagers.
I think it might be Lucky.
Oh, it is, I think it is, because he's got like
not Lucky. He's pretty jacked up.
He's always having accidents.
Hello. Give people a minute to show up before I mention why we're late.
Is that volume good, do you think?
I think so. It's pretty quiet. I think it should be okay. Until it hits that like 2 or 3 a.m. from the GameCube soundtrack, and then it's going to sound like a club in here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I was remembering that the night music can be pretty bumpin'.
It's supposed to be, what do you call it? Like ambient nighttime music, so maybe they just kept the chill ones in there, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, if you wanted a reference, I forgot. She's up there.
Oh, yeah. That might be handy.
Or we could get the Doom one that we printed out.
Don't step on that. That's a message from Milo. Or if you want to step on it, sure.
Let Milo do some drawing?
Yeah. I hope the chat's working.
Let me.
I set it up, but I didn't put in a test message. Let me see. Oh,
Hey, audience, what's going on?
Well, hello. Sorry, we're almost like an hour late. I forgot to charge the tablet. I had everything ready to go. We were on time, and it was great. And then I plugged in the tablet, and it was at 4%.
Yeah, so we had some technical difficulties. I really should just get a pre-stream checklist together.
Yeah.
What is Stubby doing?
I don't know.
He's like staring at Rapide.
He's got his paw just like out in the air.
I don't know if you can see this because the blanket's there, but... What is this sleeping posture? I swear our cat is an alien. I mean, his paws are just hanging out in the air in front of him. His legs are there.
His arms are all stiff.
Like he's asleep.
Hey, I'm glad it was good timing for you.
Who sleeps like this?
I need to like put the camera on. See, I told you Stubby was a dog.
He must be like a dog. He's a dog that possessed a cat at birth.
I think we need to put the camera on like a riser or something. Get a good view of the chair.
Or like a tripod.
So I'm drawing against the clock tonight because this thing's only got like 20% charge.
It's gonna be a rushed art night.
Yeah. I was pumped to do like a background and everything. Like, man, I'm gonna do this one right.
I was gonna say you could always draw. You could draw Isabelle, but in hell. But I'm pretty sure that everyone's doing that right now.
Yeah, and probably hell's not my strong suit. I don't do like gore and the like.
You don't have to do gore. You can just do flames. Like, kind of do,
Oh, yeah,
what is it?
okay.
The meme dog? This is okay?
Oh, yeah.
Or this is fine? Whoops.
That would be a funny combination with Isabelle. Real time. If it dies, then it dies, I guess.
If it dies, it dies.
May just have to call it at the line art. Well, I'll check the battery when I'm about to start the color and see if it's gonna happen.
Yeah, this thing that we've got for the iPad it's got a power cable going into it, and it's supposed to charge it at the same time, but
Yeah, it
it's
turns out
not.
it doesn't.
I think it's because we have a third-party Lightning charger. I'm willing to bet because it's a third-party charger, and that's an Apple proprietary modulator. Then it's gonna be like, what's this thing you got plugged into me? I don't know who this is. If it dies, we cries.
I'll just try to get a basic Isabelle-shaped thing going on before it just completely dies. Not sure what's done.
I should have brought the Doom Isabelle 3D print up and put it in the camera so people could see her.
Dang, you should have.
She looks horrifying.
Yeah, she's pretty bad right now, but we'll sand her, get her looking good.
Yeah, I found this great 3D printer file that someone made it's just Isabelle in the Doom Slayer suit, and she's got a shotgun. But my 3D printer, I didn't use supports on it because I didn't want to have to pull supports off the entire figure. I made her about the size of a Funko Pop, so she's kind of drippy. She looks like she's melting in certain areas, but
shoulders, not boobs. Just in case anyone was wondering.
I could always run down and grab her.
Yeah, you could if you want.
Look at how Stubby's sleeping now. He is totally a dog. Like, look at this. He's like leaning off the edge. Just floppy as can be. Hey, Rick, how's it going, bro?
Hello, hello.
Glad you're on Twitch. That proves that the Twitch chat's working. You doing all right this week, Rick? Everything going all right? Oh, no. Audience, how's your classes been going? You said you were in the middle of an internship, right? Or did you finish that up? I really dislike the Twitch mobile app for actually streaming. Like, it's great if you want to watch stuff, but it has like next to no options for people who are actually streaming. This is the Animal Crossing nighttime music that I remember forever.
Yeah, it's like the early evening stuff is always really chill, but then you get to like 1, 2, 3 in the morning, it turns into something else.
Oh, okay. I must be just remembering when you told me about the the internship. So you're going to be showing an original game you made tomorrow, and then, man, they want you to make a whole nother game, like a simple game, I guess you said, at least, over spring break.
Whew.
I hate spring break assignments. Like, why does it seem like
vacation assignments in general are the absolute worst?
And why does it seem like teachers want to make them as bad as possible? Like, I always remember, especially in college, spring break assignments were, it was almost like the teachers were being vindictive.
Like, man, you got so much time to work on it. Like, isn't this supposed to be a break, though?
Dang, you've been busy, Rick. Holy crap. So you're aiming for being 999 on both of them now.
Dang.
What quests are you using to get your rank up the most or the fastest? I know some of the new ones are pretty dang good. That one farming quest, the Zenogre, he was pretty good hunter rank.
Yeah, and those ones with the multi-monsters in them, if you go in there with a group, I bet that's awesome. Or guiding lands. Good old grinding lands.
Man, we've been so busy, I haven't been able to really grind that, pardon me, I haven't been able to grind that Zenogre nearly as much as I wanted to get the
yeah.
decos.
I forgot he's got a purpose.
Man, that says a lot about how hard it can be to get the crowns if you're coming up that high on the hunter and master rank from crown farming and guiding lands.
Ooh.
In the time it takes to get all the crowns, you will be master rank 999.
Maybe I should give up on getting all the crowns.
So you're doing a lot of those quests that have the 5 monsters in them then? The new research ones they released? I remember in a lot of the other Monster Hunters,
Monster?
a lot of the other Monster Hunters, Zenny could be hard to come by, but I don't think I've ever had a problem with it in world.
Not at all. Well, when I was trying to go through the original world for the second time really quickly, I had Zenny issues because I was just blowing through mandatory quests only. But that was the only time. And if I couldn't afford a piece of gear, I just kind of kept going with whatever I had. But yeah, ever since then, though, no issues. It's like not even a thing.
Oh, so it's more of a... So you're actually going to have this one be like a part of your work portfolio then, audience. That sounds really cool. So it's more of a... it's going to be more like a sensory experience kind of game then.
Or just kind of like showing off more what you can do.
Well,
Or
if it's in real time, then yeah, that strikes me as more of like something like sensory. There is a VR game that I heard was a really impactful sensory game. I was wanting to try it. I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. It had a whole lot of like... It had like a film noir kind of setting. And I believe the narrative was you were supposed to be going through the mental processes or the mind of somebody. Like it was almost like a journey through someone's mind. Man, I need to find that game and actually play it. I think what kind of kept me from it though is I believe it was supposed to have a focus on puzzles.
oh no. Yeah, forget puzzles.
It'll be a pile of you being smart. Man, the more I mess with Blender and these 3D rendering things, audience, the more respect. I've always had a lot of respect for game developers, especially anyone who can do the coding and the rendering or making the 3D objects and everything, the sculpting and such. But the more I actually mess with it myself, the more respect I have for you guys, because that stuff is difficult. I see why you have to go through like 4 and 8 year courses to learn all this stuff, and I'm just playing around in Blender. I know there's Maya and other softwares too. And I imagine you guys have to learn like whole suites of these things.
Hey man, watching you do it, I'm just like, how?
Well, Blender really focuses on, you get like your 3D objects, your rendering, your rigging, animations, sculpting, textures, colors, shades, lighting effects and all that. But then there's like the audio side of things. Like all the sounds, your music, pairing this sound to this animation, when to cue in music, all the coding for all that too. Like if you have a character running across a marsh and they're stepping on grass at one point, and then the grass gets moist, so the closer they get to the water, so then you have to have like, now it has to sound a little squishy. And then they actually step into part of the water, so then you've got like all that sound, and then they get back on land and maybe they clamber over some rocks or something, and then you've got all that sound. Like just walking alone, it's like it's head hurty.
Respect. Oh, goodbye line.
Oh, so your school hasn't been the best at teaching you, so you're having to kind of, you and your co-students are having to basically wing it. That sucks.
Oh.
Well, you got more respect in that sense than from me, because I'm just trying to teach myself over YouTube, and good God, just trying to create some objects so I can 3D print them has been a nightmare. I did, however, design my very first thing the other day. It's really simple, just a little geometric scale, and like a dragon scale for one of the cosplays we're doing, and printed it out, and it actually came out really cool. Rags, what's going on, bro?
Well, hello, hello. It came out pretty perfect.
Oh, the scale? I still gotta like figure out how to. I gotta figure out how to, like, I don't know, not mess. I put a whole bunch of like suspensions on it and supports, and it's like it's my scale is there, but it's like attached to this massive plastic that I've got to cut off of it.
You gonna print 1,000,000?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think there's probably going to be at least 100 scales I have to print out, and almost all of them are different shapes.
Oh.
It's going to be a nightmare. Hey, no problem, Dave. I mean, we were the ones that were running late. Just some technical difficulties. Appreciate you coming in, though. How's AoE been for you? Now that I know that it's not area of effect. Oh, you're unlocking characters in Melee, Rags. That's like the tradition whenever you get a Smash game. It's like, well, now I gotta go into unlocking mode, which is I think that might be when I have the most fun with a Smash Bros game, is getting everything unlocked.
Yeah, it's always super exciting.
Oh, I've seen the print and chainmail too, audience. That is actually a stress test. Really good stress test for testing out your printer's calibrations too. I've tried to print a couple chains already, and they're not coming out quite the way I want yet, but I'm learning how to really dig into calibrating my printer. I kind of had to because it stopped working on me, so I was forced to figure out how to fix it. I'll be honest with you, Dave, when it comes to real-time strategy games, I'm terrified to go up against people, because I used to play Command and Conquer with my buddies back in the day, and we actually would do LAN parties and play them, with TVs back to back and everything. And I always got mauled. I would always get destroyed. Hey, Ned, what's going on? How are you doing tonight?
Oh, hello, hello.
Just so you guys know, there is a kitty up here. He's just kind of being weird. Look at how he's sleeping. He looks like a snake.
You could... Oh, he's dreaming. You could maybe,
Yeah, I need...
move the chair so that his face over the edge is in front. I don't know if it'll rotate.
Hopefully I'm not gonna wake him up.
Hey, here he is.
Can you guys hear this? Let me turn the
Oh, he
music
woke
off.
up.
Oh, he did wake up.
Mission failed.
Back to sleep, buddy. There's nothing wrong. It's just time to snooze. Oh, you're feeling pretty tired, Ned? Do you have a spring break next week, or is yours later in March?
Oops.
I like that, the extruded cat audience. Extrude? If you guys ever mess with 3D, any kind of software, extrude becomes one of those words that it's just like, it is everything. I've never heard it used before I got into 3D printing, and then when we started doing 3D software, it's like extrude is one of the most important words in the universe.
Sorry about that. I'm not trying to kick you. Just losing blood. Well, that was interesting. Whole thing did a somersault.
3D minting.
That's why we have so many cats, we print them.
Now that we've got more people, I did 3D print, and Isabelle, you guys, I want you all to see her.
You can just put her, like, somewhere in the camera, maybe where the sheepskin is.
Let me go get her real quick. You guys are gonna love it.
Oh, dang, that's a lot of people to be talking to. That sounds intimidating. I have a hard time keeping up with a conversation with one person. Whoops. Do a backflip to assert your dominance. Can you imagine how intimidating that would be if someone just like came up to you and just did a backflip though? Hello, Ragna. Oh no, don't sit on Isabelle. You good, she's safe.
That's not Isabelle. This is
We'll
Isabelle.
further back. If you move her closer to Stubby, you can still keep Stubby in the frame. Oh, she looks so scary.
So I need to pull all these little things. This was like where the printer decided to. There weren't supports, so she's got all this excess plastic. But this is Isabelle, and this is her shotgun, and she looks weird
Shotgun.
because she's
Isabelle.
wearing.
This is her shotgun.
she's wearing Doomslayer armor. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. See, she's got, that's her shoulder pad.
Actually came out really well.
And she's holding the shotgun.
The shotgun's not bad either. I'm a little bit more concerned about how that's gonna sand, but what is that abomination? She's beautiful.
There's so many. The response is so varied.
Is very varied.
So for 3D printing, it's pretty often that you'll get this stuff that looks like this, because I didn't want a whole bunch of plastic supports. So the reason there's all this goop is because when the 3D printer was printing out to this, it was just kind of hanging out over, like the printer was just extruding plastic out here and hoping gravity wouldn't pull it down. The strings are what gravity pulled down. The ancient doll of fertility from 3000 BC.
What? Oh, you know what? I see it.
So, when it comes...
I'm never gonna see that the same.
When it comes to 3D prints, you basically just take some snippers and you come through, and you always got to do some post-processing. So we'll cut away the plastic. We'll cut away her magical little eyebrows here. I should really have safety glasses on while I'm doing this. I'm going to
gloves.
Incur some injury on stream.
Don't try this at home.
Yes, don't try this at home. Oh man, that one flew way over there. Stuff. Are you okay?
What is happening?
Sash is going to incur injury on the stream.
I'm sitting behind you. How did that happen?
It flew over me and arched to you like this is worms. I'm just hitting you with projectile plastic straight over me.
Yeah, don't cut yourself. Oh, take a sandpaper file to it?
Yep.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to sand her, but if we can get the kind on a stick too, that would probably be really helpful.
Yeah, we've got stick sandpaper. So what you do for that is once you get all the little plasticky bits, the extra stuff here out of the way, you just go and we'll hit her with a primer and a filler to help fill in all these weird 3D lines. And then after that, we will sand the crap out of her. We'll start with a low grit, like 60 or 80, and then move up to like a 150, a 220, a 300, a 500, and then an 800. And then she will actually not have any lines anymore, and she'll look like she was produced in a factory, hopefully. Maybe this can be a new thing. We'll just have Sash do her art, and I'll do 3D printer art stuff in the background.
Double art stream all the way.
Yeah, audience, we're going to go ahead and paint her. They're designed, thankfully, for her. They didn't give her any eyes, so you can actually paint her face on. The funny thing is you can see here, she's got like this Doom Slayer sort of helmet thing, but I really just see it as a dog muzzle. That's all I see when I look at it. So I might actually sand this off, make it flat, and actually just go ahead and give her a face. Once it's printed though, or once it's painted, it'll be green and the Doom Slayer's armor color, so it might look okay.
After I emailed you that one, I actually did find another one that was older that didn't have the mask, but I figured, it'll be fine.
This is actually a print at 300% size. She's supposed to be like that. Like the original print was that big. But
yeah, probably like amiibo size.
I didn't like even this. Sanding this is gonna be a bit of a nightmare. I actually almost printed her at 1100%.
It would gonna run out of filament.
She would have been about this big. I'm still
No.
thinking about doing it.
What?
She would be the same size as one of those giant Funko Pops.
I don't know if we need that in our life.
So,
We need getting a life-size printer. Is that what that says behind there? I think that's what it says.
a life-size printer, I actually, one of the like coming of age things for 3D printer enthusiasts is to enthusiasts, hobbyists. Well, there's a difference. If you're a hobbyist, you never do this, I don't think. But there's one big thing that people who are really big into 3D printers are known for. One is they build their own drones, so they'll design their own drone bodies and then actually build drones. You can build a good drone for like $60 with a good 3D printer. The other thing that enthusiasts are known for is they build their own 3D printer. They use their 3D printer to print out the parts and then buy the metal parts and the motors aside, and they build their own 3D printer. And they use that 3D printer to build bigger parts and build a bigger printer, and then eventually just until their garage is entirely too full of printers. There's a lot of YouTube videos of dudes actually building massive 3D printers, like really huge. I don't know if I'll get that crazy with it. See, with a little trimming, she looks a lot more like what she's supposed to look like. I've still got a lot of fine tuning to do, you can tell, but we'll get there.
Oh, let me see. Oh yeah, she is looking better. Her hair looks much better.
Actually, audience, I was doing a bit of research on the different prototype ideas they're having for when they get around to trying to colonize Mars, and they actually are designing 3D printers that are made to build other 3D printers. So they send up like 3 or 4 printers to Mars, and what they do is they have these little buggies that go out and collect materials, and the buggies bring back the materials to the site to the landing site, and the 3D printers use the local materials from Mars, the rocks and things, they melt it down, and they use that to produce new metals that are from the materials from Mars. So the new metals are actually acclimated to the weather, the atmospheric effects, and then they use that to build more 3D printers that can last longer. And then they use that to build like shelters, housing, that kind of stuff. And that's supposed to happen for like a few years before anyone actually ever gets to Mars. So it like automatically builds homesteads and labs and such. I don't know if I want to cut into her ear. So they build like these towns ahead of time, and then when people actually get to Mars, they can get right to work. Send a few Lego setups there.
I should be looking at the chat since it's hard for you to see.
Having a rough time out there, are you, Dave? That's pretty much how I would be. I love RTS games, but I can't say that I was ever very good at them. I still try.
And I used to get absolutely demolished by my older brother. But he's my older brother, so I mean, he had the advantage. I was like, I don't know, maybe 12 or something.
You had that typical little sister role where it's like, hey, play this game with me. And then he doesn't hold back whatsoever.
Oh, no, never. I don't think I beat him once.
But I mean, that makes you better, though, when you play people and they don't hold back. I don't like people to hold back on me.
Yeah, no, I don't. And if I'm playing a game with children or older, really anybody, just out of respect, I go full ham, or however you want to say that.
Full ham. Full
I don't hold back ever. It's
Sasha
it's
goes
out of
maple
respect.
brown sugar ham on you when
Yes.
it's like it's meaty, but it's so sweet.
Well, yeah, because I'm not that great, but I'm not gonna patronize them and like throw anything. So you know, if you beat me for real.
Her tail seems to have taken a bit of a turn for the worst here. I mean, she's got like this tornado of plastic right here. You see that? Like it's all supposed to be one piece, but it's not. It almost looks like she has two tail tips.
Dang, 5 of each facility? I don't know if I ever made it to the point where I could even afford to do that before I got destroyed. I'd be like still gathering berries and he's coming in with like somehow tanks.
That's how it was on Command and Conquer, like, because we were playing LAN games, like, I would never, because you know the shroud, what was it called? The darkness, when you moved around and, I think it was the Cloud of War, or the Shroud of War.
Oh, like when you hadn't discovered an area?
Yeah, it was Fog, I think it's the Shroud of War.
I don't know.
Fog of War.
I didn't
It was
realize
the
it had a
Fog.
name.
It was the Fog of War. There we go. So we've removed the growth.
Tornado.
Still a little lumpy. We're gonna need to sand that out. Just gonna need some emergency sanding. Lots of it.
Her mouth is so confusing. But if I do like a regular like cat mouth, it doesn't look right on her.
So the really cool thing about 3D printers is they're getting very, very cheap. There is actually a 3D printer that you can get right now for less than $100.
What?
It's a do-it-yourself, so you will have to build it from scratch. I don't know if any of you guys have seen our video where we built our 3D printer from scratch. We got a cheapo build-it-yourself kit, though. And it came with literally nothing but the raw parts, screws, and everything. It took us like 12 hours. We actually did a video on it. It was a time-lapse video. Built it, and it was pretty good. You can get an okay 3D printer for less than $100 these days.
That is insane. Because didn't you said you paid $300 for that one, or?
Mm-hmm.
Man, now you can get like a pre-built one that does pretty decent for that much.
They actually just released a resin printer, which resin, in my opinion, is way cooler than this type of printer. Uh-oh, you disconnected.
I thought I had more slack. Oh, it'll come back in a second. It'll come. Oh,
And she's alive again.
crisis alert.
But resin 3D printers are really cool because this type of printing is called FDM. It's for crap. I'm bad with these acronyms. Something manufacturing. But anyway, basically you've got this big roll of plastic that feeds up a tube to a nozzle that is heated, and it basically turns the plastic into molten plastic. And then just like if my finger were the nozzle, it basically just goes down, hits the table, and it's like, and just draws a pattern over and over and over. Like the starting pattern here, you can see, maybe. So it drew these circles around and around and around, and just kind of kept going up layers. That's what the lines are, and built her like that.
Audience, I appreciate the reminder. I forgot that it might be dying.
Oh, you had to give it up, Dave.
It says it's not charging, but it also says that it's still green, so we're good.
Actually, audience, that's a really good way of putting it. It pretty much is like if you were to take a glue gun, but fill it with plastic instead of glue, and then just keep drawing layers and layers on top of, layers until you created something. That's exactly what these are. Resin is more interesting because it actually has like a pool of resin. Like you'll have a pool of resin down here, and an arm drops down into the resin. Underneath of the resin, though, it has it's like in a tray with a clear bottom that shoots laser light up into the resin. And it'll instantly cure resin that's touching the arm. And the arm slowly raises out of the resin, and it literally looks like the arm dips into the resin and out of liquid just pulls out whatever your object is. It's so cool. So she looks a lot more like Isabelle now that she's had all of her goopies cut off. We're just gonna throw her right there. Or maybe there. It's more visible. The great thing about resin printers, though, is they actually do not have all the lines. They actually come out completely solid and are way more detailed. Like, you can actually print out, like, Dungeons and Dragons miniatures with a resin printer.
Oh, dang. Didn't work. It never picked you up.
You can actually get a really good resin printer now. Right now, they just released the new one that was like $160 for a resin printer, which is like insane. Resin printers last year, like in early 2019, the cheapest resin printer was like $1,800, and now they've already got some house models that are going for $160.
Is it a glorified glue gun?
Yeah, I mean, really. The basic engineering to it is really that. I mean, like with a glue gun, the glue goes through as you hit the trigger, it goes through a hot end and it's liquefied for a few seconds. That's pretty much
right.
that's what a 3D printer is. You just have a solid material that goes into a hot end and that is set to the pretty much right at the melting point of whatever the material is. So it goes in one end, a hard material, comes out the other a liquid, and then it just uses a fan that's right next to the end of it to dry or to cool those parts as fast as possible, and then just keeps making layer after layer.
Yeah.
So I've still got a lot more calibrations to do, though. I feel like Garrus Vicarian. The calibrations.
Oh no, I think my pen died. Button 0. I'm just gonna...
Did it die?
Yeah. Just gonna borrow this... Oh, it doesn't work without that. Oh no. Now I've done it.
Well, I don't even know what that QR code does.
Me neither. Okay, it's back. But no pen. I gotta finish it with my finger.
It's actually got two fans, so the hot end will actually have a fan, a big fan. It has like a PC fan over it. And then for the part, it has a little screaming fan that blows onto the parts or onto the plastic to cool it. Although they're not really that screaming. It's actually pretty quiet.
It's an interesting adjective. Verb. What? Adverb? Save me.
I think screaming is a great adjective for fans.
It gives funny mental pictures.
So do you have any way of charging your pen?
I do.
Now that it has died?
I just have a cat in my lap, but I can grab another charger.
Or wait, here. Can you... Well, if you put it into my iPad, will it... like...
It might pair to it, but that's fine. It'll charge.
I don't think my iPad's new enough to be compatible with the iPen, so I've got an old one.
I don't know if it's gonna work then.
True that it is. They are basic PC fans. They don't have any LED. I actually have seen, because 3D printers are fully customizable. Like most people they print out new parts. The first thing you do when you get a 3D printer is you find upgrades for your model that engineers have designed, and you go print them out. And yeah, there's a lot of guys that like to plug in RGB fans.
Oh, Cream
Hey, Cream Pop.
Hello, hello.
Hey, no worries, Cream Pop. It's good to see you, though. How have you been? How's school been?
Yeah, stuff happens. I appreciate you coming by nonetheless.
Oh, but back to the LEDs, audience. I've seen some crazy setups for 3D printers. The only reason I haven't attached any to mine yet is because I don't want to have to upgrade the power matrix that it came with. I would have to upgrade the power source, because when you get the one you get with stock is pretty much rated for exactly what it has. But you can totally get like a Raspberry Pi board and attach that to it. You can there's a lot of guys that have actually taken their 3D printers, put remote viewing, and use the Raspberry Pi to add remote viewing with like a GoPro. They'll attach a GoPro to the 3D printer so they can access it via the Wi-Fi when they're out. They can watch their prints. They can monitor their prints. They can actually access the board directly, the firmware, so they can tell it to stop, turn it on, speed up, or start a new print. All sorts of stuff. It's all everything for 3D printing is open source, and you can customize everything you want. It's all like Arduino boards, Raspberry Pi. Even the parts are very cheap and easy to buy. That's why 3D printing technology is growing at like such an insane rate, because it's like all the engineers and hobbyists of the world are just getting all this time and access to it so they can play with it.
Let's see if it worked at all.
It's kind of like a hive mind of humanity is working on it.
I'm gonna unplug this for just a second. Yeah, we'll be visited by the QR code again.
Well, we can always bring up the cat cam. We gotta give the pen a charge, so I'm going to extend our cat cam.
Oh,
oops. Oh, you got it working?
Sort of.
We're having we're having an amateur night, guys. It's been a while, but
Working with some new technology.
oh, check out Milo, you guys. He found this little bitty box. Oh, he's not in it anymore. Milo says hi. Oh, good to hear everything's going well for you, Cream Pop. Hopefully school hasn't been getting too rough for you. Spring break coming up soon, right? And yes, audience, most 3D print patterns are free. It's pretty much all open source, like I said. So some people, if they're the only ones who've designed something, generally that's when you have to pay for it. But so many people go and design things so fast. Like the meme for Isabelle and the Doom Slayer here got popular, so 3D printer designers, 3D model designers went, made her up, and threw her out there. Some of them charge until others appear. So you have like 3 engineers that are like, hey, I'm going to design that. The first one that gets it out there might be able to charge because he's the only one on the market. But, you know, before you know it, 2 or 3 others pop up. And then suddenly they're competing to make the model as fine and well-made as possible. So, and then they end up making it free. There's tons of sites for free 3D printer, or 3D printer patterns. Hey, Fox, what's going on?
Well, hello.
Yep, the quick artists go for the cash. The thing is a lot of people are, if you're good, I was thinking
So you don't need it. No.
nope, no plastic. He's just sniffing it. I don't think he cared to eat it.
I don't know. I saw that tongue come out. He's over here annoying Milo.
Oh, but I was actually gonna mention it to you, audience, because I remember you saying that you knew how to use Blender and Maya as well. If you have any spare time and you're looking to make some spare money, a lot of folks who make 3D objects, you can sculpt it, come up with an account, and then you can make a Patreon. A lot of them are free. You got to offer a lot of stuff for free, but most of the 3D printer artists who do that, they'll have a Patreon.
Stubby on the keyboard.
And like everything, they get support and everything. So a lot of people make extra money off of that.
Portia agrees.
Oh, yes. Hello, Portia. All the cats are off screen. Who wants to go up into the chair?
You do?
You want to go up there, Portia?
It's kind of hard to draw with you in my lap anyway. Oh, no. She's got comfy again.
Stubby's over here. He just came down here for a little bit.
To smell Milo and bother him.
Yeah, he's bothering Milo, who's right next to the chair. Oh, Fox. I don't know if you're into 3D printing or anything like that, but I was just showing everyone I printed up this Doomslayer Isabelle. So it's Isabelle from Animal Crossing, but she's in the Doomslayer outfit, and she has a shotgun. That's kind of what I've been doing. Audience, I've been going, and so like I'm printing up scales for a Monster Hunter armor I'm working on, and I pretty much just took pictures. I went into the game and went into camera mode and took as close a picture as I could of the armor, and I just brought the reference pictures into Blender, and I've been tracing with the curve tool around the scales, and then I extrude them and then kind of try and model it into something that the printer can figure out. I've only gotten one done so far, but I should have grabbed it while I was down there.
I know it died.
There's actually some really nice low poly stuff out there too, audience. One of my favorite cosplayer is Polygon Forge. If you guys know him or know her on Instagram, she does fantastic geometric cosplays. She prints out most of her stuff. But if you're familiar with like the designs in Deus Ex, like all the triangles, or if you like geometric designs like geometric clothing, like all the triangles put together, stitched together, that kind of thing. She does that stuff. She did a low poly Genji from Overwatch. She did a Master Chief, and she also did Anubis from, I believe, it's a really popular game. I'm generally not too keen on really popular ones though.
Oh, it wasn't Zone of the Enders or something?
She looks almost just like Anubis from Zone of the Enders, but it's Anubis from something else that's really popular. Way more popular than Zone of the Enders, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not that popular, but...
Hey, no worries, Cream Pop. It's good to hear from you. I'm glad everything's going okay for you. That kind of stuff can get really annoying. I gotta say, I don't miss school. But yeah, audience, you do get a lot of people ripping models and But as long as you have your, a lot of people actually sign their stuff in the 3D file. Like they actually integrate it into the design somewhere. This is where Stubby went to. He's in the box. He's trying to make the box fit. He can sit in it, but he can't quite lay in it. He seems a little perturbed. I'm gonna try again. Man, that's an exciting feeling when you're getting up there in college and you're about to graduate, and then it's gonna be off to the workforce.
Man, that's a horrifying time. I'm gonna grab another charger cable real quick. Plug this pen in. Hopefully it can charge and be used at the same
Can
time.
it be charged with a cord?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It just looked like it needed to be plugged into something. Oh, I didn't notice the cats were frozen. Whoops. When it comes to work, Cream Pop, I mean, hopefully you get into a field that you really love. Like, Audience is doing the smart thing. Audience really wants to get into game development. So, I don't think working's going to be nearly as scary. That's definitely what you should do, though, is figure out exactly where you want to be, what kind of work you think you're going to have a passion for, and go for that. Don't settle for anything less. Because when it comes to work, you got to do it all the time. Well, depending on what you get into. I mean, you could be a stock exchange person and maybe work for a few hours a day and live off that. But generally, work is what you do most of the time. So make sure you love it. I worked in retail for a long time. And man, the only good thing about it was that I met so many cool people and made a lot of friends. But the work itself, oof. No fun. I don't miss it whatsoever. But it was one of those necessary evils to pay the bills and get along. Yep. You always want a little bit of extra cash, like Audience was saying there. So you can do what you love on the side, too. Hey, we can get behind artist-related stuff, Cream Pop. You and Ned are doing great with your art, though. I mean, I've got no doubts that the two of you could take what you're doing far. I mean, I look at your characters and just think about how the quality of it was, like, back when you guys first noticed our channel versus now, and your progress is great. I mean, you guys, I would honestly say you guys should start working on maybe like do some storyboarding and planning out and writing, and maybe do like a webcomic, something like that.
And nowadays with the internet and stuff, there's definitely money in it, so don't let people tell you. I mean, starving artist is still a thing. It's very difficult, but it's not impossible. You can definitely make a living.
I mean, there's people on DeviantArt that make more money than like surgeons. And like we always say, you guys know how we feel on automation, and we love technology and the progression of technology, but as technology keeps getting better, there's going to be fewer jobs out there for like physical labor or things. If a machine can do it, a machine is going to do it. So art, though, that comes from the heart. So at least until machines start getting those, we ain't got to worry about creativity being entirely replaced by robots. Oh, this song's got some singing. Little KK. Do you guys think... What do you guys think? Will Stubby let me pick him up in the box and bring him over?
I think our address is on the side facing us, though. So if you do move it closer, you might want to spin her around. Just in case. You never know who's out there.
Yeah, I gotta be safe. But I'm more worried about if the cat's gonna kill me if I try to lift his box.
I have a feeling he will not be bothered. Do you want me to kill the cat cam so it won't...
No, it might be fun to watch. We'll just scoot it down here and you guys can be horrified by my insanely pasty legs.
And OMG feet. You can do it. Oh, getting dangerously close.
So we pick him up and we bring him
Plot
over.
twist, Milo got upset about you picking up Stubby.
Milo's like, if you can pick up a cat, you can feed me. Pat, 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 pat. Oh no, the food bowl's empty. Let me handle it. Watch, he's gonna get out of the box now because he's gonna hear the food.
He's really thinking about it. Alright, Pen, do you live?
Oh, and we got the bonus of Porsche in the back.
Yeah, she's sitting on some packing material. Is squishy and comfy? Alright, I'm gonna have to unplug this for just a second to get this to re-sync. I'm sorry, it's coming back, I promise.
Oh, it came with an adapter?
Okay. So it's connected. I'm gonna try to charge it and use it at the same time. And it doesn't work. Dang it. Apple, why?
Apple with their proprietary cables is going to be the end of me.
Yeah. Dang it. Why is that not a feature? That is stupid. Oh well. We'll just hope it got enough of a charge. It's just a pen. You can do it. I have a feeling this is just going to be line art tonight because it has been a thing with the stuff needing power and all. I miss my old dead fire tablet. It didn't need power. Its pen didn't need power either.
He's like, what is this abomination you've put onto me?
Oh. This is fine.
Oh, so there's actually some... If they can make that happen, that would be great, because even if that one doesn't do much of anything, it'll set a precedent, so maybe we'll see other companies get after him for it. Oh, and Isabelle's been defeated.
Oh. Man, I would really appreciate it if they would chill on that.
Proprietary cables is such a racket. Especially with the prices that Apple charges for their stuff. Like, I really don't understand how, like, hardcore Apple users, like, that refuse to use anything but Mac and their products, like, I don't get it.
I mean, I could maybe understand it. I don't know.
The prices, though?
Yeah, no. I mean, like maybe 8 years ago, but not now.
Oh, you were meaning you could understand it like in the past.
Yeah, I just didn't finish my thought fast enough.
I don't
Oh, I
know.
love this song.
It's so pricey to be an Apple fan, though. Like,
Yeah, I have a feeling that has something to do with like people that want to be an Apple fan, because like it's like driving a sports car or something that breaks down all the time.
yeah, I think we should actually get a wireless charger for Sasha's iPad here, so we'll just put it over here next to the computer.
Just like
so
yeah.
Like figure out exactly where you typically set it down at, and we'll just put the charger there, so you'll accidentally charge your stuff.
That is a brilliant idea. We should get one of those.
I saw it in Electronics Expo. There was an entire kitchen where everything in it, all the electronics except for the refrigerator, and I think the high motor items like the disposal, everything else, anything on the counters, was wireless. Wireless charge, and the what it was is the panels, the glass counter actually had wireless chargers built into the entire thing. So you could set a device literally anywhere on any of the counters, and it would charge it. And
yeah, that's what I need.
The appliances ran off of that. Like the appliances had charger sensors, power sensors under them,
It's
and
like your microwave and your blender and all those little dudes.
You just set them straight down, and anywhere you put them in the kitchen, they would pretty much be powered by whatever surface they were on.
That is so cool.
Man, Tesla is like, I am in love with frickin' Elon Musk and his companies lately. Like, I'm telling you, Tesla, and then Elon Musk's brother. Have you guys seen the amazing advances he's starting to make in agriculture and farming? Like, the Musk family is literally like going to be the savior of humanity. Between them and Mr. Beast and the philanthropists on YouTube, and there's a few on Twitter as well, like they're going to pretty much, if anyone's going to save the planet and us, it's going to be them. Neon Musk. Oh, look at that. There's a wild Milo in the background.
What's he doing? He froze. Oh, he's smelling something on the ground, but it looks like he just stopped. Have we ever had so many cats on a cat cam?
Milo, bring your face into the camera.
I cannot recommend Animal Crossing enough. It is wonderful. It's got lovely tunes, and it's just so peaceful to play.
It's like he knew where the camera could see. He like went right along here and stayed just out of it.
Feeling watched. And the characters are so cute. Oh my god. You can like design your house and stuff. In the new one, you can design your outside and stuff. I mean, you could do that before, but just kind of like plants. There was not a whole lot of freedom with that. But I digress.
You guys ever want to get Sasha talking?
Animal Crossing.
You've now discovered the secret. I like Animal Crossing, but I'm not nearly as much a fanatic about it, and I wish I could talk to her more about it. But if you guys get into Animal Crossing, then yeah, you will have a friend at Sasha.
Oh, man, the cat cam is not functioning tonight.
No, it's because I'm doing all sorts of stuff off to the side here with the cats and the boxes and the cutting of the 3D printed objects and the pickles.
The pickles.
I was just reaching for the pickles. Alrighty, audience.
Happy hunting, audience.
Yep, happy hunting. Have a good time out there. We'll see you on the next one, bro.
Thanks for talking.
Cream says she loves Animal Crossing.
Cream has impeccable taste.
No, I'm thinking Sonic. I was gonna say, isn't there a villager named Cream?
There might be.
But I'm pretty sure I'm thinking Cream from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Cream from Sonic the Hedgehog is adorable.
She is a pretty... I always thought she's actually a pretty cool design. I like her coloring. But I'm one of those weird people. I actually like beige and tan, milky kind of colors. Off-whites, that sort of thing. Single-handedly keeping that fashion part of the market alive.
I like those kind of color schemes because then you can accent with like a nice blue or green or really whatever you want, and it looks so nice.
It's pickle time. There are a lot of new villagers
that's
coming,
not good.
so we may see a Cream.
And I'm not so much of a fanatic that I like have all the villagers memorized, so there may be a Cream already. I really don't know.
Isn't there a Sasha?
I
I could have swore there was a Sasha villager already.
There is. I've never gotten one. I know there's a Sarah. I think she's a squirrel.
It'd be funny if there was if they added a Sasha, if there's not one already, and she was like a bodybuilding wolf or cat.
I'd like to be a squirrel.
Oh,
Wait,
squirrel.
that makes no sense. I should be a cat.
I was gonna say Sasha like means like kitten or cat in Russian, I believe.
I thought it was like Defender of the Universe or something. There's a Roy, and he's a squirrel.
What?
I just googled Roy Animal
Really?
Crossing.
Why
I
does he
love
look
him.
like me? He looks so angry.
How did I not know that this?
Is there a 3D file for Roy? I've got to print Roy up.
You want to put that in the camera?
So Sash wants you guys to see the villager named Roy. That's Roy.
It literally looks like you. He's just missing glasses.
This is my expression most of the time. I get irritated by the littlest things in life. So I'd
No,
say
he's got like angry eyebrows, but he's happy. He just looks mad. Which is perfect. It's you. Oh my god. Best day ever. I had no idea. Okay, let's see if there's a Sasha. There's a Sasha with a C.
and she is a wolf.
She's a wolf. You called it.
Okay, so there is already a wolf villager. This is Sasha. So this lady and the squirrel.
I don't know if I relate to that wolf as much as that squirrel is you, but it's still pretty great.
Oh no, all of our cats relocated all of a sudden.
Oh, you're right. Oh no.
Pardon all the plastic stuff on the table. This is all the chunks from Isabelle.
I don't know how I ended up with so little slack. Usually I can keep this in my lap. I love that. That's adorable. Alright.
Hmm.
Okay. I don't think I'm gonna have time to color her, so I think I'm gonna just do some better line art.
No worries, Cream. Thank you for dropping in. We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. And have a good rest of your day, evening, whatever time it is there. Oh, I forgot her little high ponytail.
Oh, I was gonna see if there's a Cream in Animal Crossing.
Oh, I totally forgot to check.
Let me see.
My Fitbit says it's time for fitness, but that's gonna have to wait.
The only thing is it comes up with ice cream.
Oh. I'm kind of surprised there isn't a cream. I lost Isabelle. Oh, there she is. Thank you.
You lost Isabelle? She's right there. With her shotgun and everything.
Oh, I could have just looked at her for... I just need to know what her little ponytail doodad looks like.
It's kind of just a lump of fur. It's like a furry bubble.
Her head confuses me because she's got these ears on the side of her head, but her ponytail looks like she's pulled her ears up into a ponytail over her head. So she has like 2 sets of ears.
Have you ever seen the dog? She's actually the real dog she's modeled after.
I think so. Isn't it like a...
It's like one of those really fluffy, like, Shih Tzus.
Yeah.
So, a lot of owners like to pull their hair up like that and put it into a little bob above their head.
Yeah.
So that's where the idea came from.
Oh. It's so perfectly round. But I guess because it's like curled onto itself. Oh, there's a cat sleeping behind me. Like, where's this snoring coming from?
Oh, is Portia snoring?
Yeah, or just kind of breathing loudly.
He's trying to figure out if he wants to lay down in the box again. He
Forever
got up.
the struggle.
Yeah, he got up to eat, but I don't know if he wants to struggle getting into the box again. I think he's weighing if he wants to sleep in the box or if he wants to just come over and take a lap.
I want Steffi's problems.
Oh, Ragnar, are you still there, by the way, bro? I meant to ask you something.
He said hello earlier. To me specifically. And I said hi in a creepy way. Maybe I scared him.
Scared Ragnar? Nah. Ragnar's got some of the thickest skin around. Take more than that to scare off Rags.
He might still be there. He might just be scared.
He's listening and watching, lurking, waiting to pounce.
Is this side of her face on a different layer? No. It's just impervious to the eraser. What is this line made of? It must be on... Whoa.
More like, where is it made out of?
Yeah, that's forever the question.
Hey, Cybera, what's going on?
Hello, hello. She's taking a brink.
A brink? She's on the brink.
She's taking a break to drink some, not whiskey.
Oh, Cybera, check this out when we're talking about Isabelle. So I 3D printed up this Doomslayer Isabelle. So it's Isabelle, and she has a double barrel shotgun, and she's wearing the Doomslayer gear. Hopefully you can kind of see that. I haven't refined it hardly at all, so it looks god-awful.
Neat. I don't know why that seems like a funny choice of words. I think the general consensus has been scary.
I like neat. I'll take neat.
Yeah.
Hasn't been a productive Wednesday, Dave?
Sometimes Wednesdays be like that.
Man, sometimes all days be like that.
Mm. Wednesday was always my favorite day of the week to have off if I had any option. I just don't like doing things on Wednesdays.
Yeah, if I ever got to choose my days off at work, which was rarely, I would generally want Wednesdays off because it just feels nice because it's hump day, it's right in the middle of the week, so.
Mm.
Oh, how have you been liking Genesis, Sabera? I've actually seen we have a streamer that we follow. Her name is Mima. She's the gaming granny. She actually uses FaceRig as well. She's way better at it though. She has a bunch of add-ons and everything for hers.
Yeah, she's so pro.
But she's hilarious to watch, and she's been playing Genesis. It's been making me want to play Ark again. Whoa, Scott made an hour-long episode? What was he covering? I like Scott the Woz. He's pretty funny.
Oh, I want some pizza.
Scott the Woz really makes me think of like the gaming version of Review Bra.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I kind of like them. I need to check them out.
Yeah, I bet those Genesis maps are really crowded. I think Mima uses I think she uses private servers. I think she mostly plays with her viewers. So I think she's got a private server. Oh, it was the Switch anniversary one. Okay. See, Scott, you've probably seen Scott's stuff.
Maybe.
He's like a really clever, well-written gaming nerd. He's got a lot of subtle humor that he just subtle and dry humor that he pulls off really well.
I love me some dry humor.
Oh, so the Genesis maps aren't that big? I hadn't seen all that much while Mima was playing it. I just but I figured since they had it was a lot of it was in space. But she kind of spends most of her time in the rainforesty area. She likes the plants and the greenness.
Is that his intro? I can't say that's all that familiar. I can't say that I've seen him.
Scott's like
my memories.
He really is a lot like Review Bra, where he's just kind of, I don't know, he's really chill, but he'll just pull out like one-liners or like puns or something and just completely nail it, just off the cuff. But he also is really well educated on anything he does a video on, which is mostly retro games. Like retro games is what he pretty much covered. He covers a bit of everything, but retro is the stuff that I really like to watch.
I'll have to check him out after the stream. Man, I can get behind some good Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably one of the leading Nintendo fanboys. I remember back when he had very, very few followers. I've been following him for frickin' ages, and then I don't know. It's like he kind of had that lightning strike go for him. Like he had a really solid level of growth for a while, and then out of nowhere, I think someone on Twitter or something noticed him, because he kind of blew up at one point. But he deserves it. I mean, he's some of the better content out there. Do you ever watch Review Bra, Dave? Report of the Week is the name of his. That is the name of his channel. Yeah, it's Report of the Week. He's the he's the little nerdy guy that actually has like you never see him out of a like a perfectly groomed state and with an amazing suit on. But he reviews fast food and energy drinks and junk food. So he's like this dapper gentleman that just he's so well spoken and eloquent, but he does like Scott does. He throws a lot of one-liners and off the cuff dry humor in there. And he just eats fast food.
And he's so meticulous about every other aspect of his life. Like, why do you put all of this garbage in your body? Fast food's not bad. I eat fast food.
I think the fast food is kind of his getaway from everything. Like, I honestly think when he's not doing the YouTube stuff, I think he lives a life where he's got a lot of high expectations placed on him. Most of which he probably places on himself. He seems to hold himself to quite a high standard.
That one's creepy.
A oh, I think I saw the snow saber-tooths. I saw the maul Meemaw a couple times. Because she walked into the wrong part of the rainforest. Or the snow. Yeah, those are in the snow. Meemaw has like the best video game deaths ever. Like, she gets killed. She plays a lot of Elder Scrolls and Elder Scrolls Online, Ark, and dating sims. Like, she gets on and plays like a lot of dating sims, which is hilarious because she reads out all the lines and everything, and she's just so endearing. Steam, lately I have actually not been using my PC for much outside of trying to design things for the printer for the cosplay. I've been doing a lot more work lately than gaming, to be honest. But as far as PC gaming, yeah, I haven't touched it in a while, except for like Conan. Played Conan Exiles like maybe a month ago.
I don't like those papers.
Yeah, that sounds like what I saw May and Meemaw a couple of times, Cyber. I'm pretty sure I've seen them. They do look really, really nice. I really like the creature design in Ark. I've been playing Conan Exiles. I play here and there with some friends, but I don't know. None of these survival games that seem to have that. I don't know. There's a special something to Ark that these other survival games can't seem to replicate. I have no idea what it is. Maybe it's the VRAM leak, but there's something about Ark. There's just something about it. It was probably because when we were playing Ark, it was just so, like, harrowing. Because we decided, when we first started playing Ark, we were total noobs. I think I told you this, guys. We started down on the mangrove beach because, oh, it's pretty. Let's live where the mangroves are. Oh, and then we found out that that's where the Titan boas live. So every day, every night was an internal struggle against Titan boas. That's where we met Loverfella. And his YouTube is really taken off since back then, too. I think he's at like 600,000 subs or something like that. He's doing really well. I kind of wonder if he stayed in college, though. Oh, yeah, Dave, on Steam, I haven't really gotten onto Steam at all lately. I played Conan Exiles like last month, and that's pretty much it. Well, every here and there I'll play a VR game, but I don't think you'll see me on Steam because Steam VR is a whole separate thing. So when I'm playing VR, I'm on that. Oh, the swamp fever, Cybera. We lived with swamp fever, and died with it daily. Yeah. Good times, good times. It was rough, but. You're having trouble getting games to work on it? I hated the leeches in Ark. Cybera, I don't know if you guys did this or any of your friends, but did anyone who's played Ark actually? Have you guys when you first started eating Ark? It's because the topic is on eating. When you first started playing Ark, did you just kind of eat anything you could find to keep your hunger down? Because we ate some really, really bad stuff when we first started the game. Oh, early 2000s games on Steam? I can't say. I think the oldest game that I play on Steam and it works fine would be Dungeon Defenders 2 and Orcs Must Die 2. I think those are the oldest games that we've actually bothered to play on there. So Cybera, when you guys were first starting Ark, we weren't looking up guides or anything at all, so we didn't know. And we weren't reading descriptions of stuff we found because, hunger was coming in and kind of killing us. And so I remember when we first started playing Ark, we would be out eating stuff and we'd just start chomping down on berries and then we'd pass out. And it's like, why did I pass out? My hunger's fine. Because we're eating those blackberries, the ones that you use to knock out animals so you can tame them. And for like the first hour and a half, we just could not for the life of us figure out why we kept passing out. We'd be like, dude, I just passed out again. Can you come, like, punch me and wake me up or something? So, I mean, I so fondly remember our start in Ark. Like, we did everything wrong. Like, everything you could think of wrong. We started off building in the swamp, fighting off diseases and titan boas and eating narco berries because we weren't strong enough to kill anything. And anytime we went after a dodo, something else would aggro us, so we'd end up dead. We ended up angering the alpha tribes in like 2 servers by accident because we were building in areas that you weren't supposed to build in. My friend, when we were playing the second night we were playing, he actually went out and found one of their. He was near one of their grazing monsters. I think it was Dynasticus or something like that. But anyway, they thought that he killed one of their dinos. And he was like naked. He couldn't kill anything. But they blamed him for killing it, so they kidnapped him. They knocked him out, took him up to their base, put him in a cage. Oh, it's sideways.
Yeah, I'm just trying to draw her.
Oh, you're side. Okay, as long as you know. But so they knocked him out, and so like we're in Discord talking, and he's like, "Dude, they've got me in a cage, and they keep knocking me out, and then giving me blood so I don't die." Because I was like, "Punch the wall, just kill yourself, and you'll respawn down with us." And every time he did that, they'd put him back to sleep, and then put blood into him, give him a blood transfusion, and kept him alive. And then they started like putting him on dinos, like different flying dinosaurs and stuff, and flying him from base to base because we were trying to figure out where we had no clue like how the map worked. We didn't know where he was, but he was basically trying to describe his environment, and we were trying to find him. Not that we could do anything, but we were trying to find him and see if we could set him free. So we spent an entire night trying to find him as he was kidnapped.
Could he, like, make a new character?
Yeah, you can leave and make it. He didn't want to make a new character because he finally hit like level 30,
Oh.
which had been really hard for us. Oh no, we're talking about early days on Ark Survival Evolved.
Oh, yeah, out of context. That probably
Yeah,
sounds
out of
interesting.
context, it probably is pretty weird.
So, yeah, last week my friend got kidnapped. No.
The funny thing is he made a female character, and he made her pretty well endowed. We'll say, you know, he's happy with the more provocative sliders when it comes to character creation. So he, you know, they couldn't hear us, and we didn't have chat on. So he was typing. He had a guard. After a while, they put a guard in place of in charge of him. So he actually he flirted with the guard a little bit. And it totally worked. The dude let him out of the cage and released him. So then he came down and we switched servers. Oh, are you hesitant to get it because you don't want it to come to an end, Dave? Yep, I feel you there. Sash feels you too.
I never finish anything. I hate when stuff is over.
The final Harry Potter book, anyone?
I'll never read it.
Yeah, I feel really bittersweet when it comes to getting the last piece of a collection. Like, especially even if you've already seen like a whole series and you're collecting it, or if you're collecting, like, the harder something is to find, I think. The longer it takes, the more you get attached to just the collecting of it.
Yeah, it's such an empty feeling when it's over. I really hate it.
I remember feeling that way, Dave, years ago with the Gurren Lagann DVD set. You probably were familiar with it. It's the one that had the box that was the box looked like the gunman with the teeth, and it actually opened up, and then on the inside of the mouth, it opened up like at the mouth, and you could see all the DVDs on the inside.
I remember that. That came with a little backpack.
Mm-hmm. That one took me forever to find all of them in that specific set, because Gurren Lagann had, I think, 3 sets at that time. They were like different qualities. That specific set, when I finally got it finished, I was like, I'm so proud to have it, but I'm kind of sad too, because now I don't have to hunt them down. Fry's had it on clearance, and I was able to get most of it for like really cheap. That was a really cool set. I'm just an absolute Gurren Lagann nut, though. Like, if I can get a hold of any... Gurren Lagann's the anime equivalent of Monster Hunter for me. I will very literally buy any merchandise I can find. You know what? I should find some 3D print files for Gurren Lagann and print up the drill.
Yeah.
I wonder if there are any good Gurren Lagann 3D files out there.
I bet there are. And physical media is sort of becoming less and less of a thing. Especially as far as, like, watchable stuff goes. Games, it's still hanging in.
Yeah. Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann is one of those series that was, in my opinion, timeless. Like, How it was
That's
made
so
like
good.
15 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, the animation would still hold up though.
Yeah, because Trigger, I mean, you can go back and watch it now, and it still blows away like pretty much anything that you see out of the weekly stuff right now. Oh, so you're getting pretty close to finishing your actual collection. Like, when you look around the room, that collection.
Oh.
Man. At that point, I could actually that makes me see why you got back into Lego and everything, cuz I don't collect anime DVDs or Blu-rays anymore, but games. I'm still working on my PlayStation 2 collection. Like, I want to complete the entire North American PS2 library.
I think we're a good chunk of the way through that one. I think we've got pretty much anything that was really good.
Yeah, between you and I, with Sasha and I's collection combined, we've got I think we're probably pretty close to 90% on PlayStation 2. PS2 has some real buggers to find, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, actually, Cybera, are you into painting at all? Like, do you do any kind of models, any kind of like painting figures and such? Because if you're into that sort of thing, I could always link one into the Discord. It's around 100, I think, but it's like a 20-inch tall Gurren Lagann figure, and there's actually a YouTube unboxing video linked on the page. I've really been debating getting it myself. They used to have a pre-printed or a pre-painted one that was entirely complete and everything, but that's been sold out forever. I don't think they're ever going to have it in stock. But they do have the base one, which is some simple assembly. And if you can paint, I mean, you could really have an awesome Gurren Lagann figure for not nearly as much if you look at the price versus, let me throw this one into the Discord for you. Actually, it might already be in there in the figures section. One second. Let me take a look. Could have swore I put it in there a while back.
I know you talked about it, but I don't remember if you did or not.
If not, I'll just link it again. It's that one from E2046. Overlooked Vita titles. Ooh. Yeah, Vita's having like a crazy surge in popularity.
It had some good stuff. Let me see what I got over here.
Did you ever play crap. What was that awesome Monster Hunter clone with magic?
With magic?
Yeah, on the Vita. I'm totally blanking on the name.
It's not God Eater.
No, it wasn't Tokiden or God Eater. There were actually two others that were really, really good good Monster Hunter clones. One was based around magic that was like really old, like old world, dark, like almost Dark Souls-ish, goth kind of world.
Was it on the Vita or the PSP?
It was PSP.
Oh, okay. Are you talking about Vita or PSP?
Soul Sacrifice, yeah, that's it. Soul Sacrifice was good. There was another one too. Freedom Wars, I think, was what it was. It was a really good one. Did any of you guys play Freedom Wars?
Freedom Wars?
That was the one where they had like the machines had pretty much taken over the surface of the world, and when they found humans, they would capture them and enslave them as like the hearts of the machines and use them kind of like power sources, if I remember correctly. And it actually had a system kind of like Monster Hunter where you had super powered weapons and you fought these giant machines, and the machines would try to kidnap members of the party, and you'd have to actually focus on blowing up body parts of the machines to set them free. Yeah, you're reducing your sentence because everyone is born into the world with a sentence. Like the moment you're born, because the world is in such a bad state, you're pretty much born in with a sentence. Like everyone is born a criminal, and your goal is to reduce your sentence by fighting the machines. Like you're born with like 9,999 years sentence, and you work it down.
Did we play this?
I did.
I don't remember.
I was thinking that you and I had, but
I know we've played a couple Monster Hunter clones on the PSP, but
it came out when you were in college, though. So
oh, no, we probably didn't then.
you were pretty much always, you were up at the dorm all the time. So I think that's why I ended up playing it alone. Oh right, I was gonna look for that Gurren Lagann figure. Let me find it for you here real quick, Isabelle, and I'll throw it into the Discord. I recommend this figure to so many people. I should honestly just have like a bookmark set to it. There we go. Oh, Freedom Wars is super cheap? On the system store. Man, I haven't done anything with a Vita in so long, I'll be honest. If you want the best recommendations, Dave, I don't know if you use Twitter too much, but if you look up Vita Island on Twitter, they're actually like this big community for the Vita. Like that's all they focus on, and they have some really, really cool members that they throw around suggestions all the time. Oh, Half Minute Hero is good. Too much porn? Really? I don't think we ever run... Every here and there we'll have a questionable thing enter the feed, but I think they might have cracked down on that at some point, because we don't really have any issues with that on Twitter.
Yeah, I think there was like... yeah, maybe once a day run into something interesting, but it hasn't happened in a while, though.
No, it's been really tame lately. Oh, Sibera, I went ahead and linked the Gurren Lagann figure into the collectibles part. Check that one out. There, if you go down near the bottom, there is an unboxing video if you want to actually take a look at it yourself. It's a huge figure and it is gorgeous, but you will have to paint it. Yeah, I think they've tightened up their collars on Twitter quite a bit, Dave, because we used to see it every here and there, but I don't think I've seen anything. And we've got like a lot of cosplayers and stuff on ours. We've got a few We've got a few artists too that could definitely lead down a provocative rabbit hole or two. But yeah, we don't really ever get anything that bad.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything questionable in a long time.
I like how you've made Isabelle look quite shy, but also like, you want a coffee? It's almost like she's like calling you, like, you want a coffee? Come get the coffee. Come get the coffee.
She's gonna share? It's actually whiskey. I mean, tea.
Oh yeah, I remember I saw you playing it like a week or two ago, I think, Dave. Yeah, Patapon was like that surprisingly deep, like action oriented, almost like Pikmin style game. You remember with the little dark circle dudes who had all the really they look like simple eyes,
Mm-hmm.
but they actually have really cool, if you look closely, they actually have like really cool like class changes and weapons and everything. Like, it was a way deeper game than it ever should have been just looking at it.
That does sound vaguely familiar.
It was one of those games that you could easily overlook because you look at the cover and it's like, that doesn't really look like it's all that interesting. But when you actually get into it, they're like really deep games. And the reason I actually looked at it was because I really love the clean lines on the Patapons themselves, and because like they were all black except for like little parts. They'd have like little mosaic painted glass sections that were kind of eye drawing if you actually look closely at them. And when you look at them, it's like, holy crap, these are like, they look like really deep Celtic style art designs went into them. Like, Patapon would totally be really, really cool tattoo art. Yeah, they were like 2D style games, like you remember Castle Crashers?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of along those lines, like Castle Crashers meets Pikmin, kind of. It was pretty unique. It's kind of hard to describe it. Man, Castle Crashers. I would love if they brought Castle Crashers back.
Yeah, that was surprisingly fun.
That was Half Brick Studios, right? Why haven't they made another Castle Crashers? I'm pretty sure it's the game that put them on the map. I think. Oh, wait, never mind. I thought Stubby was like nesting on top of Doom Isabelle, but no, she's right there.
Is egg.
Isabelle's gonna be a good one to learn how to process 3D prints on because she's got a lot of really small nooks and crannies, like in the armor there. How the heck am I gonna sand that?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. You might have to get like the Dremel and get like a really tiny tip on it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to use the Dremel. I need to get back to playing the PS Vita though, because unfortunately the Vita was really kind of the portable Dreamcast, as far as like it was way ahead of its time.
It got a ton of like really good exclusive like RPGs and stuff.
Yeah, it was
Japanese
a
games.
JRPG powerhouse, kind of like the Switch is now, but it's like everyone waited too long for it. Like,
if it had come out a little bit later, it probably would have done better.
yeah, like it's like Sony was like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and cancel, we're gonna go ahead and cease production on this handheld, and then when they did that, everyone went nuts. Like, oh my god, I gotta get a Vita.
I don't know how to make her like middle eye highlight things.
Middle?
Like the way the highlight on her eyes is, it's like where her pupil would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't make that look cute. It just looks really creepy.
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with just leaving her eyes the way you've got them. That black.
Yeah, I'm tempted. I may just do that. I don't know.
I mean, that looks fine to me.
Yeah, sure, whatever. We'll go with that. I really wish they would do more 2D games. Because there's so much more I feel like you can do that you can't do with a 3D model. Maybe I'm alone in that, but...
No, I mean, I totally get you as far as, like, if we're talking Metroidvania style games, like, man, I love those kind of games.
It made me so sad when Atelier switched to, like, from the in-game drawings talking to each other to 3D models, because it just didn't look as good. It makes me sad.
Yeah, Terraria is a really good one.
Mm.
I mean, there's so many good 2D style games. Beat 'em ups, like, I still to this day, I think beat 'em ups are best as a 2D game, as a 2D style. Like the old X-Men arcade game, or Altered Beast, Streets of Rage, Final Fight, all those kind of games. Man, I love those. Yeah, the 3D versions are a bit awkward. I'm trying to remember. There was a game on PlayStation 1 that really kind of started the whole 3D beat 'em ups. What was it? I remember it was your typical threesome of big buff dude. There was a dude that was like normal size and like kind of the puncher style one, and then it had the chick who was the kicker. What was it called? It was really popular back on PlayStation 1. I cannot remember it. But it's kind of what set between that and when Tekken was trying to take beat 'em up. They were trying to have their side story modes that were basically 3D beat 'em ups. The Tekken Adventure mode or whatever it was. Those were kind of what started the whole craze for that. But I like my traditional 2D beat 'em ups. There was a Dungeons and Dragons beat 'em up in the arcades back in the 90s. That was freaking awesome. The Punisher beat 'em up in arcades was great. Then you got ones like Metal Slug. Metal Slug had so many details to the art. Like, Metal Slug was a 2D pixel like dream. Like those games revolutionized 2D pixels. Oh, Final Fantasy X? Oh, you got the one on Vita. I think I had... You know what? I actually think that's the last time I played my Vita. I got the Final Fantasy X remaster on it. I remember I was playing it at work between jobs. Like when we get during lunch, or when we'd have no jobs available, I would just go somewhere, hang out, and just play Final Fantasy X.
I got that one on PS4. I feel like it would look better on the Vita. It looked okay on a big screen, but...
Oh, Dave, I don't know how much interest you have in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but Mithra and Pyra, their 1/7 complete figures, are now the second run are now available on AmiAmi. The Pyra and Mithra, they just went up on AmiAmi. If you have any interest, they are 20,000 yen, but they are there.
Buddy. And Stubby is loving that box. Oh, he's proving me wrong.
Yep.
Buddy.
Yep, so those secondhand prices, all those scalpers are going to have to lower their price. Thank goodness. I'm so glad they decided to do a second run, and that means they're probably going to do a second run on Cosmos. I'm really hoping that they see the demand for Xenoblade figures now, and we actually see some of the other blades.
I really like that one with the light bulbs.
Oh, Zeke's. Yeah,
I don't remember her name.
yeah,
but yeah.
Zeke's blade. I feel bad that her name isn't coming right off the top of my head.
Hey, Stubby. Man, if I'm just sitting playing games, you want nothing to do with me. But I'm trying to draw, and y'all wanting to be in my lap.
A good old Thunderbolt Zeke, though.
I lost Isabelle again. Dang it, Stubby, did you lay on her? He did. There.
Pandoria. How did I forget her name? Pandoria.
You're dead again. Man, this pen, I swear.
Well, if you keep unplugging it and plugging it back in, you're gonna short charge it.
I know, but I gotta get this drawing done.
That's really bad for it.
I know.
Like really, really bad.
I know.
You don't short charge your devices.
Oh, sorry. I gotta.
Especially since it doesn't work while it's charging.
Yeah, which is very sad. I don't know why it doesn't.
Why is their technology so far behind but costs so much?
Yeah. Come on, Apple, get it together.
So it looks like those figures are going to be re-released in December of this year, Dave. So it looks like you got a little bit of time. If you want to go pre-order it, you'd have a bit of time to get up the fundage again and recover from that Xenogre's Connecticut's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a little bit off, but hey, it could be a good Christmas.
That's true.
Since they're coming out the same day, though, and they're like 200 and some change, so it gives you a little bit of time to get that money rounded up for them.
Oh, he's gotta go, though. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yeah. Whoops,
Heck
sorry.
is censored.
Heck.
Thanks for coming and talking to us. And have a good sleep.
Yeah, this year's got a lot of
figure.
figures. Cosmos is coming out here pretty soon. That's going to be a bit of an oof. Well, alright, Dave. We appreciate you dropping in as always, bro. Have a great evening, great week, and we will see. You're gonna lay down and be like, Mithra, Pyra, no. Later, bro.
Night, night, night.
You want to go ahead and maybe we can cut it at this, and you can
Yeah.
continue next week, and your pen can save some life.
I just need to shade like 2 things, and then I'm done. 3 things. No, Stubby, you don't do it. I don't trust your beans, I'm sorry. You're gonna need to keep those to yourself.
Well, dang, that means maybe we'll see another surge in views for our unboxings of Mithra and Pyra.
Okay, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sabera, did you happen to see the Gurren Lagann figure I linked for you? If you're not interested in that one, that site is actually one of the better sites for getting newer figures and stuff really cheap. I've ordered a couple things off there. You can actually get a lot of figures really, really cheap from them because many of them are their raws. Like, it's the raw figure. The mold and everything is the same one they use for the figure. You just got to assemble them and paint them. But a lot of the prototypes actually look pretty cool in their base gray rather than being colored. So you can find some really cool stuff. They have a lot of Gurren Lagann stuff. But that particular figure, I've really been wanting to order it for a long time. I'm just no good with painting. I'm getting better thanks to cosplay, though. Are you holding Stubby's paw?
He keeps putting it on the iPad. Beans off my Isocam.
Beans off Isaacan. Or beans off your Isaacan.
Oh, I love the art. Is that Bruce? He looks like a Kelpie. He's one of my favorite deer, or goat, or whatever he is.
He's a dote.
Dote. And he's one of the villagers that talks like he's really old. Does that look like iced tea?
Ice-T's in this picture? Where is he?
What?
I don't see Ice-T.
Now I gotta put iced tea in here. I'm gonna be here all night.
You're gonna Ice-T as a villager?
Oh my god, next week.
No, it looks like it looks like a drink. It looks good. Without
Okay.
color, I can't really say that it particularly looks like tea, but it looks like a drink.
Okay. We'll go with that. Close enough.
It's
Good enough.
so it's right now because it's black and white. It's sake for now, or water. Till next week, then it's tea or whiskey.
I don't know if I'll finish this one. I may start a new one.
A new Isabelle or a new one for a villager?
A new village.
You could do Tortimer.
That's a good idea.
You should do Tortimer, and he's sitting at the grave.
No.
To prove that he's not the one in it.
Oh, yes.
Or you could take that meme, you know, the one meme that's been bouncing around lately with the dude sitting in front of the grave, like giving the thumbs up in front of the grave, and then they have a picture of him from right there on the grave, and it's like when you have when you die and there's an autosave right before you die. You could do that with Tortimer. You could do the grave, and it could be for Tortimer, but he's right next to it, giving the thumbs up.
That is a brilliant idea.
You could turn the meme into a real picture for Tortimer.
I like that idea. I think I will do that. Just don't let me forget.
I'll try.
We'll get to next week, and I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna draw. I don't know, Roy.
You could do the FBI, your FBI watcher. You know, the meme about your own FBI agent watching your browsing history.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that, but have it be copper.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good idea. I haven't drawn copper. I love copper.
There's your original idea for Animal Crossing stuff. Just turn memes into Animal Crossing things.
There's so many memes for Animal Crossing. I love it.
But just take current memes and throw Animal Crossing characters into them. Where they would be fitting.
I don't like whatever's going on with their skirt right here. Alright. I think she's about done as far as line art and things go. My pen's really dead again.
If you don't plan to finish her, I mean, she looks good as is. You could just have her be an uncolored one. You don't have to color everything.
I honestly prefer how they look before I color them. I color them for the practice.
Well, you can just leave her at this then. Just to adopt a cat.
Oh, right. Oh my god. And the sun. What am I doing?
We should make a checklist for your drawing.
I need a checklist for my life.
If only there were such a thing. If I had a checklist for life, I would be set.
I can't do anything without a checklist.
It's when I'm left to my own devices to run and manage my own life that things go to crap.
This doesn't go away. Trying to think how Isabelle would word it.
Pay off your loan, adopt a cat.
What? You don't pay Isabelle though. Well,
When she's the mayor, I mean.
well,
I think of Isabella, I only think of her as the mayor.
I think you're the mayor, and then she.
Yeah,
well,
she's your assistant, that's right.
She's supposed to be your assistant, but like.
She does everything for you.
Really, I think she's more of the mayor, but. Yeah. She just says you're the mayor, but she probably is the mayor.
Don't forget to adopt a cat.
I'll just go basic with it. That's too thick. I'll say adopt a buddy though, because she is a dog. What? One of these is good. Oh, I can move this one. Sun, that was the other thing. Sun.
Oh, you're putting him in the adopt a cat? Oh, you're looking for the smaller one? So are you looking... Are you actually looking for the one with the more human face, like the one that was where they took over Virals or Virals Gundam or Gunman, not Gundam,
Gundam! Yeah, I was...
like the OG red one that looks more like the old school.
The little one, like
Super.
that Shimon was piloting?
Well, that one was
Or
just the head. I'm thinking of
or
when.
the one that Shimon and Kamina were piloting.
Yeah, the one where. I'm thinking of the one where, you know, they take Simone's head and drills it into the gunman that Kamina was piloting. You remember when they were trying to get their teamwork down? It's like, just drill it in there. And then they're like, how does this even work?
Oh no, my pen died. I just need to give the sun a smile. Come on. Work with me. Hi, Pusha. Alright, Pen, you can do it. Let's go.
Ah, okay. They do actually have that one. I don't know if they're going to have any in stock, Sabera, but they do have pretty much every form of Gurren Lagann and Tengen Toppa along the lines. They even have the Spiral King's gunman, which was actually my favorite design from the whole series. Yeah, just take a look around that site a little bit, Sabera. Just type in just run a search on it for Gurren Lagann. There's tons of stuff. A lot of it won't be in stock, but there's a lot that still is, I think. And they always have new stuff. You can actually put yourself on a wish list or do their... I'm on their emails thing, and they have deals all the time, too, so you can get stuff really cheap. Yeah, Lazengan. I was trying to remember the name of that gunman, and I was like, the back of my head, I was like, lozenge, lozenge, because the name of it makes me think of like a throat lozenge.
This always scares me, because I'm pretty sure it's going to ask me if I want to save at this point. Yes. Okay. Oh, but now it's gone.
Goodbye.
Oh no, I don't want to open my gallery though.
Isabelle is gone.
Okay. Well. Make it less blinding.
Well, I guess that's where we're gonna be calling it then, you guys. It is pretty late, so.
I'll bring her up again while we sign out. Just a moment. I don't know what's in my gallery. Oh. There we go. And that would have been safe anyway. Just ugly doodles.
Yeah, the pre-painted ones are pretty much out of stock forever unless they get a new model. Keep checking back. You can go and wish list any of the ones that are not painted, and they do get those restocked here and there. I've got quite a few wish listed that I've just been... They send me emails and it's like, I got it in again, and I'm still like, it's always when I don't have the money for it.
Oh, the cat cam has been an empty box. And hot sauce bottle.
There's no cats within camera range right now.
Yeah.
Well, alright, Cybera. I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a night, let you free so you can go play something or do something that's probably gonna be way more productive than listening to us talk, so. We appreciate you dropping in though, Cybera. It's good to see you. Yeah, I'd really prefer the that Revoltech on that Revoltech Gurren Lagann is actually really nice. That's a good one to follow.
Did you get that one?
Yes. I've been afraid to unbox it though. I do have it though. With the Revoltech, I like the Revoltech series. I've actually got Tengen Toppa Galactic and the classic one. So
It actually doesn't sound completely awful.
yeah, with the Revoltex, you can get them pretty cheap if you find them on like AmiAmi on pre-order. The first wave for those Gurren Lagann ones, when I got them, I think they were $40. So that's why I've got both of them. Revoltex are really cool. I love how posable they are, but I don't think I would ever pay like over 100 for them because they're scale. They're really small, and I tend to like the bigger non-articulated figures more. So
Yeah.
you wouldn't think that looking at my Play Arts Kai and Bring Arts collections, though.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a fan of the posable ones, but sometimes it's the best you can get for some characters.
Yeah. I think that other one that I posted, Cybera, the silver, the Tengen Toppa, but that's not the one you're after. The galactic one with all the drills on him. That one I think is going to be a Revoltech, I believe, so. If you're interested, maybe keep your eye on AmiAmi, because that one should be going up for pre-order here sometime soon. Oh, that one's a good one. I actually have considered buying that one on a number of occasions. The main ones that I have from Play Arts Kai are... I've got that whole series of Batman, you know, from the different eras. You know, like they got the Wild West Batman, the Mr. Freeze Batman, the ones where they mixed Batman with villains. There's like a Scarecrow one, there's Mr. Freeze one, there's an actual Batman, the Batman one, and then there was a really, really crazy Joker figure from Play Arts Kai. He had like this, all sorts of masks and accessories.
Oh yeah, that one was cool. Didn't that one come with the wheelchair too?
Yeah, the transforming. Well, yeah, it's a wheelchair slash like suit. It's a big accessory. It transforms. I can't remember exactly what it does.
Crap, I forgot what I was gonna do. Oh.
Well, alrighty, Cybera. I think we're gonna go ahead and head out. Again, we appreciate you dropping in, and hope you can make it to more of the stream so we can chat with you a little bit longer next time.
Yeah, sorry we were late. Although, was it you that dropped in after you were hunting? Maybe not. I'm sorry, my memory is so bad.
I was gonna say something, but I can't remember what it was now.
Oh, no bad.
Always. No, I think it wasn't your bad. I think it's just late. Well, alrighty, you guys. If there are any lurkers in the shadows, we love you guys as well, and we will be seeing you all next time, hopefully. Have a great week. Yeah, it'll come to me in an hour. So right before I'm gonna go to sleep, it'll come to me. And then I'll throw it in the Discord, so. Alright, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us as always. We will see you on the next one. Sorry for the tardiness today. We just had a few technical difficulties. We'll be sure to charge all of our devices next time.
Man, I was on the ball. Just so much, like, otherwise, but...
You were doing good. It's just charging. Everyone forgets to charge stuff. Have a great one, Cybera. Enjoy Genesis when you get around to it, and your kibble and egg hatchery going on. So, have a great evening. If there's anyone watching after the fact or later on, watching the stream after we're done. We love you guys too. If you're new to the channel, like, subs, all that's up to you. What we do ask for around here, though, is if it's within your means, consider adopting or rescuing an animal. ASPCA.org, petfinder.com. You can also Google your local animal rescue and adoption options. If you can't bring one home due to allergies, living conditions, what have you, there's plenty of ways to show those animals you care.
You can also go volunteer and still spend time with the guys. Or you can donate money. And I did some research earlier. You can donate blankets, old sheets, office supplies, oddly enough, if you got them, or any old pet supplies and stuff you don't need, as long as it's unopened or lightly used, like harnesses and stuff. They can use all that kind of things.
Yep, so if you've got love to give, love to show, there's plenty of ways to do it. Man, it is late. And there's plenty of animals, unfortunately, out there who could use that love. So, guys, show them what you got. And speaking of love, we love you. Remember, buy your fun, not your fam. Adopt, don't shop. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Nighty-night.
Nighty-night.